Good evening. This video is discussion number 1 for our class, Marketing Strategy and Planning. And this discussion was about 2 articles that we read, The Evolution of the CMO and Reflections from a 6-time CMO. And quite honestly, I enjoyed the articles. Primarily, the first thing that stood out to me was just my understanding of what a CMO is, where that position falls within typically the corporate structure of businesses, and also how that role has evolved over the years into what it is now. So some of the insight came particularly from the question and answers with Joe Tripodi, who was the CMO, most recently CMO of Subway before his retirement in 2018. But I like the back and forth question and answer that really gave kind of light to some of the answers that he had about his experience and how that role has evolved over the years, and some of the strategies that he employed with some of those companies, with Allstate, some of their ad campaigning, Coca-Cola, and certainly lastly with Subway. But one thing that stood out to me was how he described the role of a CMO being misunderstood, I guess, or misconceived by CEOs in general, or members of the corporate structure, and how the role of a CMO is much more than just an ad manager or an advertising type role, but it's much broader than that. It had to manage the public perception of the company. It had to lead the company's relationships with its customers, and how the company itself was perceived by the public, not only in the product that they're putting out there that's for sale or for offer for their service, but also what that culture within that company is. How the company stands with some of their positions on sustainability, environmental issues, even human rights issues, and how that gets communicated and perceived. Plays a big role now in the business culture, whereas the article, The Evolution of the CMO, really provides just that. It provides us some insight into how that role has evolved, how marketing and advertising in general has evolved from the 50s, 60s, 70s on up into today, and what the focus of the advertising was, and how the use of television and print media and has evolved into cable television, and then the internet certainly, and now the biggest piece of that being social media, and how everything is so interconnected, and how companies can use that and reach out, but particularly how the CMO needs to be agile enough in their philosophies, in their strategies, to be able to take advantage of those and employ those and use those to meet the customer's ever-changing needs, and what they perceive is value in a product or a service, which is much more than just that product itself. So overall, I think it was 2 really good articles. It helped me to understand that process and that role, and how that role can continue to evolve, and how people like Joe Tripodi probably played heavily influence in that evolution that's there, and keeping up with the way things have changed. So overall, it's a good discussion. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks.